Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 7th episode of the Hussein Mohammed podcast. I'm your host, the young Iraqi voice actor Hussein. And as always, if you'd like to skip to any part of this podcast, you can do so through the chapters feature on YouTube or the timestamps in the description. Now, today's guest is someone who I worked with on my very first voice acting project. It was a WATCHMEN comic dub. And despite being one of the very first voice actors that I ever met and worked with, we only recently really started talking and interacting. And so this is going to be a very interesting episode. There's going to be a lot of different perspectives. And I'd like to introduce my friend and colleague of 3 years, Zigmas. What's up, man?
Yo,
How you
what's
doing?
up? I'm doing good, man. I'm happy.
Let's
Oh,
go.
shit. I'm hyped. I'm hyped to be on the podcast, man. I gotta keep it down. I'm hyped to be on the podcast.
Bro, it's okay. Go get excited. You know, you got the game down. You can shout. You can do all that type of stuff. But man,
It's crazy. It's
Yeah.
crazy to think how we started, and it's crazy to think how much time has passed and how much
for real.
things happened.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Bro, I'm really glad you're excited about this. And like, I'm really excited about this as well because this is an opportunity to like, really talk about this stuff. I know you have a lot of stuff that you'd like to ask me and some stuff.
Yeah, sure.
And I'd like to hear, that stuff, like the perspective on those things that you like to talk about. And the things the questions that you ask me, I also want to know your perspective on those things. So I think it'll be very, very interesting. So, of course, you're known
Yeah.
as Burn the Night on Cast and Call Club and like Twitter. I think you're changing that now.
Yeah, because it's better to have your real name out there.
yeah.
I just realized that because some guy said to me like, "Yo, you need to use your real name, man. People need to see who you are."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Yeah, this made up name, it sounds kind of cringe, like a teenage band or some
bro.
shit, But can you tell me about how you decided to switch up from your first name to your actual real name and what decisions went into that?
Oh yeah, I think that's a dope ass question, man. And number one, before I say that, dude, I think your name is fucking cool, man. Dude, Burn the Night? Are you
Thanks.
kidding, dude? Like genuinely, I remember when I first saw your name on Casting Call Club, and I think I followed you there and everything like that, and we because we were on the same project. And dude,
Yeah,
I thought you were so cool. I was like, damn, Burn the Night. Who's this guy? And your auditions were like higher quality than mine because you had an actual microphone. I had a phone microphone.
But you killed it with the phone, man. You killed that shit in Watchmen too. I was like, "Yo, what the fuck is happening? This dude got a voice of a 50-year-old man,
real.
and he just
Yeah,
started
man.
doing this stuff." And damn, yeah. So you was recording with the phone on that, yeah.
Yeah, man. For the first until the start of 2021,
Yeah.
January 2021, I was recording with my phone. And
Yeah.
I started off like when you asked your question, I started off as HSE on like all voice acting platforms, on Twitter, on everything. I used to just my name used to be just HSE, and I had this like I still have the profile picture on Discord. I still am HSE on Discord, because
Yeah.
Discord to me
True.
is not as professional as like the other stuff. So I just keep it that way. But one day I really don't remember when. Like I don't remember when I decided like I shouldn't keep this HSE stuff up. I think um I think it was like towards I really damn I really forget when it was, but at some point um and this was after I made my character demo, after I produced all of that.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Yeah, because when I made my character demo, I still used that logo, and I genuinely
Yeah, true.
I regret that now. I regret not putting my headshot
Oh.
instead of the logo, because like
Oh, I see.
yeah, because I uploaded it on Twitter and like I reply to those demo the people when they ask for demos, and so they see my
Mhm.
demo and they see just the logo. They don't see my face. So like
The face is important.
yeah,
Yeah, true.
it is very, very important to appear professional and stuff like that. So I was like, why I'm getting bigger projects, I'm getting bigger roles. I need to have a social media presence. Um, I need to build like a brand for myself. I realized that I watch a lot of YouTube stuff about voice acting. when I was starting, and I'm getting back to that really to
That's a good plan,
yeah.
actually, to start watching stuff before you do it.
Yeah, man. I think that's really huge, and people don't realize how much info and how much like actually important stuff those voice actors on YouTube and those people like Bill Deweese, people like Paul Schmidt. I watched Paul Schmidt.
Booth Junkie, baby,
Booth
Booth
Junkie,
Junkie
bro.
gang.
Booth Junkie gang, man. He's
He's
awesome.
such a goat.
Yeah,
He's
for
such a
real.
goat, man.
For real,
He's
man.
so awesome.
Yeah,
I wish you could have him on the podcast one
bro.
day, man.
That's crazy.
Imagine.
That would be crazy. That would be crazy. That would be insane. I would actually love that. I really, I wouldn't know what to ask him even. Like, I would probably ask him about the channel. Probably ask Booth Junkie about its channel. So I think that'd be interesting if that were to happen one day. But yeah, I was saying basically, I realized that I need to rebrand and I need like an actual, brand for my voice acting stuff. And I just like I was
Yeah.
like, yeah, I'm not keeping this HSE thing. It's pretty it's pretty unprofessional for me, especially because like I was getting like I got the role for the movie The Journey, I got all that stuff, and so I changed
Yeah.
it and I got the banner, I got the headshot, I took a headshot. And my very first headshots are pretty bad. I don't like them. I don't like those. I don't like. In the first one, I looked like I looked like a Mexican cartel boss.
That's pretty cool, man. Come on.
No, like not a cool Mexican cartel boss. Like
Oh,
like a
okay,
really
all
like
right.
like one of those bad guys that is like just bad. Like he's not very cool. Um, yeah, but I changed that. I tried to keep a color for my brand, and the colors like I use like very like dark pink and purple or blue. I use
Purple,
those
yeah.
hues.
It's a. Did you know that it's a color of royalty
Ooh,
in some countries? Yeah,
I did not
purple.
know that. I did not know that. That's very interesting. Yeah, I think it gives like a certain. I like the vibes that it gives, and I like the blend of those two colors. I don't really know.
I never thought about that. That's a good point. Having your own colors and stuff.
Yeah. I mean, do you have any plans like that? Like you're using your headshot. I think you might use your picture more and your name.
I think that I get what you're trying to say, but I think that picture just looks goofy,
Bro.
right?
No, it looks all right. It looks all right.
That's why I hide with the other pictures, the avatars and shit.
Bro, I was worried too, man. I was worried when I put it out. I was like, cause I always got the advice that like, oh, don't put your face on the internet from like parents and like family shit like that.
Yeah, getting doxxed and stuff. I
Yeah.
get it, but it's a different thing.
Yeah.
It's a professional thing now,
Yeah, you
Chill out, mom. I'm a professional voice actor.
Yeah, you can't really do that. And it's like there's always going to be that risk of being doxxed or like whatever. Like, but like, artwork is online and stuff like that. We have to put ourselves out there in that way. You know what I mean?
That's
So,
a good point.
what is your plan for that? Are you planning for like a rebrand in a way?
You know what? I'm planning to listen to what you have to say
Mm.
in this episode because you mentioned that you're going to talk about putting yourself out there. I'm planning to listening to your tips, and then I tend to do this slowly, but adjusting stuff that's been, that I've been doing.
Mm. Yeah, so you're not really like doing a whole push. You're slowly just changing some stuff around, right? Is that what you mean?
It could be a bad thing because I remember it took me like 2 or 3 months to just have my own folder that I
Mm.
could put my voice acting samples in. And
Yeah.
only because my bro was like, you gotta do it, man. You gotta do it. Everybody's fucking doing it. Just have a folder. And I was like,
Yeah.
what? No, man. It's kind of cringe. And he was like, what the fuck you mean it's cringe?
Yeah.
It's your job, man. You gotta do it. And when I talked with you and I compared the stuff that he told me, I see what you guys mean,
Yeah, yeah, man. I think it's very important. Like, you shouldn't downplay your talent. You shouldn't downplay like your work. I think, you shouldn't be harsh on yourself. I think you should be, a critic of your work, of course. But at the same
Yeah.
time, like you're doing this. You got to realize that you are doing voice acting. That you are a voice actor at this point. And so, like, you got to look at the other voice actors, and you got to be like, yo. what are these guys doing? You know, like for me,
Yeah.
sometimes, you know, it's like sometimes I may be on Twitter. I don't go on Twitter very often because it's honestly demoralizing, bro. Like it's seeing people posting shit like that. I'm happy for them. I always congratulate them whenever I see something positive. Of course, 100%. But it's also at the same time I'm like, damn,
Damn.
those
I get it.
people
I get
are getting
Yeah.
so much work and stuff like that and stuff done, and it demoralizes me because it doesn't motivate me. Like I want to be competitive, but I don't like competing like that. You know what I mean? I don't like
Oh,
jealousy. I don't want to be envious. I hate that. I hate that feeling. You know what I mean?
it's hard. It's hard to avoid those feelings
Yeah.
because of how much other people post.
Yeah.
I'm in this. I'm in that. I mean, like, yeah, sure, but like, this is just like like when you look at other people's social media pages, it seems like all they do is get gigs, right?
Yeah.
And sometimes that's not the case in actuality.
Yeah, that's true. I think especially, I sometimes I compare myself, like, to be honest, I have a thing where it's like when I see someone who's had a success, I go to their page and I check their profile and I'm like, how
Yeah.
old are you? How old are you? Because
No, yeah.
how long have you been doing this? Because I'm like, he's there. This person is ahead of me, and I'm this age. I want to be like the best at my age, if that makes sense.
Sure.
Yeah, like
Always. You always got to think like that. Yeah.
yeah, I want to be the best at what I do at my age. I want to be working hard. And to be honest, I'm gonna be very honest about this. I've been slacking. I have been slacking, bro.
Yeah. Same.
Yeah.
Same. I mean, hey, it's like a meeting.
Yeah.
Those AA meetings.
Yeah.
This is only for voiceover. We got to say the honest
True.
things.
Yeah, true.
I've been slacking too. I admit it.
Bro.
I've been slacking too.
I mean,
But hey,
yeah.
I was gonna say you have a head start because you're so young. When you said how old you is, I was like, what the hell? This dude is so goddamn young, and he already has so much achieved and shit. I'm
Yeah.
like, what the fuck? Like, I wish I started when you started.
Yeah, man.
So
Well,
you have that going for you too.
so wait, so you started on Casting Call Club 3 years ago, or was it before?
I made my account on 2019
Mm.
on my 25th birthday.
Mm.
And then I finished my uni, and then I really started in 2020.
That's interesting. Okay. So like you started then so this whole time you've been studying, you've been, focusing on your studies and stuff like that. How'd that go? How'd that go?
I was studying from 2015 to
Mm.
2019. I was studying journalism,
Ooh.
and I hated it because it was so, you have to be mentally fucking crazy to be in journalism 24/7, to always have things to talk about, to always have leads and news and stuff. And I couldn't handle that. I couldn't handle that pressure. I wanted
Mm.
to do something artsy.
Yeah.
And I was making a GTA machinima for a roleplay character of mine.
Mm-hmm.
And I went into a Discord of machinima makers. And then I saw it. I saw Casting Call Club there. And I was like, yo, you can actually join other people in their stuff
Yeah.
and you can get paid for it. I need to do this. So yeah, that's how I ended up there. Yeah.
That's amazing. And so yeah, basically you said you started with GTA 5 RP. So that's what you mean by that, or what do you mean?
Oh boy, yeah. All the way in 2017, the first roleplay boom on Twitch was happening,
Yeah.
and I was like, "What the fuck is this? Two best things that I like, doing voices and GTA,
Yeah.
are in one, and people actually fucking stream." And I was so happy to do it.
Oh
I was
man.
doing the goofiest shit, like the hobos. I was always doing the hobos because I had you know, you could get away with saying bullshit,
Yeah.
with saying gibberish.
Yeah.
And so yeah, the uh the other people had scripted stuff going on, but you could do improv stuff.
Yeah.
So I was doing a bit of both, and basically that's how I started to notice that I could do these voices and I could do these emotions.
Dude. That's cool, man. What that like, and especially because you chose like as you said, like to express yourself like a hobo. Like that's the perfect character to be like goofy and to say
Yeah,
random
yeah.
shit, bro.
You know,
Yeah.
like, hey, what's going on, bitch? Yeah. Hey, I saw you stealing my cigarettes, bitch. What's that about?
You can just be deranged. You can just be
Yeah, yeah.
completely deranged. That's so funny. And that's so cool that you were doing your own project and you discovered that, like, oh, other people are doing this. Other people, and I can join them and work with them. Dude, that's.
And there is
Mm,
so much for a starting voice actor to do on Casting Call Club. Don't get me wrong, the website can be a dumpster fire, okay?
mm,
But there's
yeah.
so much good going on there. You can learn scripts. You can interact with other voice actors. There's tons of fucking scripts out there. Tons. To just test your limits, test
True.
your skills, you know?
Yeah,
And
man.
that's awesome. And you can actually sometimes you can even get paid for that.
Yeah.
That blew my mind. That blew my mind.
Yeah, man. It's really, really awesome. I mean, Casting Call Club is how I started. And like how both of us started
Nice.
really in voice acting. And
You got to talk about Watchmen, man. You got to
oh
talk about that
man,
experience.
dude. Okay, so
That was awesome.
I started out, I sent in my first audition, stuff like that. Kept sending auditions and I was like I always knew that I could do like an older person's voice, but I never really
Oh,
knew if it was going to be convincing. And it's crazy
oh.
because I was 15, bro. I was 15 sounding like I'm 50. So
It
like
is convincing to
yeah.
anyone who thinks about it. Okay, to anyone who asks, it is convincing as fuck.
Thank
All
you.
right.
Yes, I was like I wasn't even like the thing is it comes naturally. Like I'm not really forcing it like or like going, yeah,
Yeah.
hello, my name.
Kratos. Yeah.
Yeah. Like because some people do an old person voice
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it sounds like they're straining their voice to do it. But when I do it,
True.
like for example, I know people who do Kratos impressions, they strain their voice. It sounds like they're like, like, and it's
Taking a fat shit
yeah. I
sometimes.
mean, it's convincing. It's convincing. I think it's good, but at the
It's
same,
one way to do it. Yeah.
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 But then for me, I think the perk that I have, or the one up that I have, is that I
Yeah.
naturally can sound naturally old, like an actual old dude. You
You
know?
was born with this. You was
Yeah.
born with this gift.
I
Yeah.
was born. I was born to voice old Arab men. Yes, sir.
And old German man.
Yes.
You voiced a German guy, a clock guy
Yeah.
in Watchmen.
Yeah. So basically, yeah, I auditioned for the project and I was like, oh shit, I got cast. And it was the second time I got cast. But the thing is, the first project that I got cast for, I was uncast because I was 15.
Oh
So,
shit.
yeah.
Man.
And
That's a CCC experience too, guys. You
for
know,
real, bro, getting cast for a project and it getting canceled, or
and then poof.
we'll get into that. But
Yeah.
the thing is, I'm really so glad that Ollie, the person who did the Watchmen
He's
series,
awesome. Yeah.
bro,
Yeah.
Ollie is incredible, bro. He was just an amazing director and a visionary to bring his project to life. Cause like it's tough. Like he was working with some voice actors with varying qualities of microphone and like, but he was so
Yeah.
nice and so professional. Like he was straightforward, director, stuff like that. And it was
And
yeah.
yeah, and I talked with him on a scene, and he was like, "Yo, you gotta do this and this and that and this and this and that." I went to him to direct me because at that point I needed the direction
Yeah.
almost always, and
Yeah.
he did it, and he helped me, and he's an awesome guy, and I know that right now he's trying to do poetry.
Mm.
So best of luck to him, and
Yeah.
shout out to Ollie. You are cool as fuck. Thank you
Ollie
for this,
Hendrickson,
and
bro.
yeah.
He's amazing.
I hope you come back
Yeah.
if you're listening to this, because I'm gonna link it to you.
Yes. Oh my God. Yes, bro. Please.
I hope you come back and you finish that, because the people are demanding that in the
Yeah.
comments every fucking day, bro.
For
Every
real.
fucking day.
Yeah, I've checked the comments. People are like, "Oh, when are you doing part 2? When are you doing the rest of the chapters?" Man, bro, honestly, one time he offered me a role. This was like I think 2 years ago, I sent him my new demos and stuff like that. He offered me
Yeah.
a role in the Batman comic, I think. He wanted me to
Yeah,
audition.
yeah, yeah.
He
Yeah,
wanted me to
true.
he wanted me to audition, but at the time I was very busy with school and I was very busy with other projects. So I was like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I can't really do this right now. I'm only doing like paid projects because that's all
Yeah.
the only thing that I had time for." But honestly, right now, man, like I'm so grateful to have met him. I'm so grateful that he gave me the opportunity and he was so professional. Like right now, if you were to make it like part two Watchmen, bro, I would give me all the character. I'll voice them. I'll voice them, man. I'm so down. I'm so down because I'm I would like to be on the same project with you again. And
Same, man. And
yeah,
we also have badass people. I don't
yeah,
know how you pronounce her name, but I think
Charlene, I
y-
think.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
She was on Watchmen too.
yeah,
And she's fucking awesome. She has these projects going on. And I was talking to her like, look at how all these awesome people were in one place and stuff. Like you, her,
yeah,
and you
man.
all doing big stuff right now. We all trying to do big stuff, and it all started there.
Yeah, I think I really never really thought about it like you just described it. That's so beautiful. It is genuinely beautiful. How it
And you
started.
know what?
Yeah.
I'm sorry about this plug, but you gotta have her in the podcast too. You
Oh
mentioned her
man.
in two, like 3 episodes and stuff, and
Yeah.
I talked about it to her, and she was like, "I don't know, I'm kind of shy, but you gotta do it, man."
True.
She's awesome as fuck too.
Bro, honestly, you're right. I think definitely keeping that in mind. Remind me after the end of the episode because I really would like to have her on the podcast. Um, man, it is so uh I like Ollie. I'm just forever grateful for him because he was the first time that I worked with a director. He was the first time that I met a creative. That I sent my files to someone that I
Mm.
recorded for. And
Got direction too,
yeah,
yeah.
dude, he was so professional. He was so cool. And the fact that he brought all of us together, I think that is something to be appreciated. That is something to be loved. And I think he should be very
Yes.
proud of the work that he did because the work that he did, dude, The Watchmen, it's called Watchmen Enhanced Comic. If you guys want to listen to it, dude,
Go watch it. Go watch it right now, or I'm
it's
coming to your fucking house, man.
it's
Go
so
watch it
good.
right now.
It's so good. It's insanely good. Like it shouldn't be on YouTube. It's that good. I genuinely think so. And
Some people
yeah,
in the comments say stuff like, "This is better than the original voiced motion comic that they did."
yeah,
And you know what? I agree
yeah.
to it. Yeah, yeah.
I think it's
I
more
I agree.
faithful because it's like actual
It
comic panels.
Yes, it's full.
Yeah,
It's not cut. It has a multi-voice cast in it too.
yeah,
Because the original had like just one guy doing all the voices, the
yeah,
female, the male, and stuff like that, and it has a full cast now.
yeah. I
And
think yeah.
yeah, like you mentioned, it had its shortcomings. Like
Hmm.
there were a lot of people with different mics, different quality studios, but somehow Ollie made that work, and
Yeah,
somehow I know he has his doubts about that. I know he is like, I don't know about this. Like he at one point even tried to unlist it,
yeah,
but I get it. Like every creator has its doubts, but if you're listening to this, Ollie, you should know that fucking whole project is awesome, and you should definitely be proud of that.
bro. I'm genuinely look how far I've come in like the projects that I worked on, video games, shit like that.
Yes,
Genuinely,
definitely.
I still look at that project fondly and I'm still proud to be a part of it. That's how much I love it. And like I think yeah, I think he disabled comments, stuff like that at some point. N-
Yeah,
n-
he's going through phases.
Yeah.
I kind of get it because I sometimes I get in these in the mindset too.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, oh, is my work really good?
Yeah.
I'm this and that, but you gotta sometimes put all of that aside and just appreciate what you did. And
Definitely.
the other point is Watchmen was so well written
Yeah.
because that comic was so well written, and I'm so grateful that this was the first big project that I could be a part of because the script was just so goddamn awesome.
For real, man. For real. And it was just brought to life wonderfully. And you know, it's like that's I'm so many people say their first projects on CCC were bad and like, oh, I couldn't do, but like this was my first project. This was
And that is
yeah.
fucking awesome. And could you talk about your CCC experiences? I know you say you have some stories and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Could you pick like a good story, a bad story, or something like that if you want?
Well, I think so basically there was this the one thing that is that is highlighted in like the whole CCC thing was there was a big huge project. It had like 1,000 auditions, stuff like that. It was called Star Wars Darth Treya or something like that. It was
I
like
think I saw it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. True, true.
yeah, that was a
I
huge
think I saw it. Yeah.
that was a huge project, and I got cast from multiple characters, and they were like all paid, not paid very much, like $10, $25, something like that. Um,
Still cool.
yeah,
Still good. Still
at the
good.
in the beginning, that was amazing, and so,
Mm.
bro, it was coming together so beautifully. There was concept art, there was
Oh
animation
shit.
tests,
Oh fuck.
it was crazy good, like crazy good. Um, but
Dedication.
yeah.
All that.
But then the director was like, I don't have the money for this. I realized I don't got the money, guys."
I realized
Yeah.
after all this,
Yeah,
right?
like
It's kind of funny.
he
God
hired
damn.
so many voice actors, concept artists, animators, stuff like that. Like
God.
compose a music composer, I think.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
It was
And only then you realize you don't have the funds
for
for this?
real.
Come on, man. Like,
Bro, I was so excited for it. I was cast for multiple characters. And it was gonna be awesome. But I think that was like biggest experience that I was like, "Ah, shit, this sucks," because it was genuinely so good. And then
and
like
that's the
yeah,
part of the CCC experience.
yeah,
You go in there, and sometimes the projects just die. It
yeah,
just all crumbles and burns. And sometimes you give people voice acting, and they run away with the money
yeah,
and the voice acting.
yeah. I mean,
Um,
I one the last project that I did. I think the very last project that I did on CCC. This is 2021, August 2021, I think. That was the very last project I auditioned for. One of the very last projects I auditioned for, and one of the very last projects I got cast for.
yeah.
And it was a Skyrim mod. And
Oh, I love those because they
yeah,
always have a lot of, cool characters and
yeah,
they got money attached, bro. And you could say, oh, you guys always talk about just money this, money that. You got to understand when you are just a starting voice actor, you see these paid projects with quality scripts and your mind just goes,
yeah,
like this
yeah,
is legit shit. I got to get those.
for
And a
real.
lot of people audition for those. Yeah.
Yeah, man. It's like it's huge. Always those projects, bro. Because I used to sort by paid projects at some point. Like I got to a point where like
Same.
I couldn't do unpaid, and not I couldn't do unpaid. I was still open to it, but at the same time, like you want to audition for the projects that actually pay, of course. So
Yeah.
yeah, I used to sort by paid, and those projects got so many auditions and so much attention.
Hundreds.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hundreds.
Sometimes even thousands. I remember some projects having
Yeah.
thousands of auditions. It was crazy. Um,
And you were saying about that Skyrim mod. I'm sorry I
oh
interrupted you, but I just
yeah,
had to say it.
it's fine. It's fine. I think yeah, it was a Skyrim mod, and I sent him my lines, and I think I got paid like $25 for it. It was really nice. But the
For
sad
CCC, that's
yeah,
big.
that
Okay.
is huge, bro, for CCC. And but the thing is, like, I searched for it. I literally searched for it. I think the other day, even well, not the other, like a month ago, 2 months ago, something like that. And man, it hasn't come out. My voice is nowhere to be found. There's
Hasn't
nothing.
come out yet. Oh my god.
No, I don't think
Oh my
yet. It's not
god.
about yet. It's just like I don't think
Ever.
yeah, I don't
Yeah.
think the director saw his vision to the full thing, so he just never put it out as a mod.
Oh my god.
And that's the sad thing too. Like that's another sad thing about those projects is sometimes you work really hard on a project and you're really, really proud of it. But it just doesn't come out. Even
And
like
you put
yeah.
your heart and soul into it.
Yeah.
To all who's listening, I gotta say this in a goofy ass voice,
Yeah.
okay? You gotta understand that on CCC, if you want to get stuff, 9 times out of 10, you gotta put your heart and soul into it, right?
Yeah.
And then you do it, and the people are just like, "All right, see you never," you know?
Yeah.
It kinda sucks.
They dip.
I was gonna ask you and lead into why you left CCC and stuff, because I saw your
Yeah.
auditions stopped at 2022.
Yeah.
So I was very curious about
Yeah.
that.
Basically, at the time, I was getting cast. I got cast for like 2 projects off of Twitter, and yeah.
Nice.
I stopped really looking at those projects and stuff like that. When I realized that I sent in like literally like just a few auditions on Twitter, or like 2 auditions to projects that were like that were open auditions and stuff like that, and I got cast immediately for those. Like immediately.
That's fucking awesome,
Yeah.
man. That's lucky, and that's awesome, and that's goddamn.
Yeah, but no, but I realized that's the thing. I realized I was like, damn, there's so much there's a lot of unfair stuff about CCC. Like there's unfair
True.
like things in the website itself. Like it's just in the design.
Scummy things, sleazy things too, with the people
Yeah.
too.
I mean there's stuff I think it's just the stuff with the design itself of the website and the idea of some of the
Oh,
designs in the website. Let me explain what I mean by that. Um
sure.
Basically, like you when you send in an audition, it's usually public projects that have the auditions shown to everyone. And so
Yeah.
the early bird, the person who comes in the quickest, the person who auditions the fastest, is usually the one with the most amount of upvotes. Usually the one with a bunch of replies saying, "You killed this dude. You did amazing. You should
Yeah.
be the one getting cast. I'm bad. I'm
Yeah.
bad. You good. You good." Like a bunch of
Always.
yeah.
Yeah, true.
And so like you realize how unfair that is. The director is gonna look at that. They're gonna be like, "Oh shit, okay, people like it. Okay, I'll just choose this guy." You know what I mean? Like,
Okay, so does that in a certain extent happen on Twitter or not?
no,
Can
because
you elaborate on that?
well, okay, so let me explain this to you. Usually when I say auditions on Twitter, it's usually open casting calls that are like you on a Google document or a Google Drive or a PDF or something like that, and it's just audition lines. You set like character description, details, and stuff like that. Send it to this email. These are the specifications you should
Yeah.
send, and that's it. That's it. Yeah.
Oh,
You just email them. You email your auditions. You don't put your auditions in the comments or anything like that. So, like
that's more professional than the cattle call stuff in the CCC. But
yeah,
to your point, I gotta add, because I've seen a lot of this happen through my time on CCC.
mm,
Uh, some of those upvotes, sometimes they just don't mean a thing.
yeah,
If the casting director is a professional guy, he would not give a shit about the upvotes if the voice that he wanted was, if he had a certain idea of what he actually wants. The upvotes would not impress him.
yeah,
But I'm not saying that it happens a lot. I'm just saying that sometimes the upvotes, you don't gotta, worry
yeah.
about that.
True.
And could you talk about? Because I really want to talk about how do how does cattle call auditions,
Yeah.
the ones that happen on CCC, when you was doing them, how did they impacted you mentally?
Oh,
Did yeah,
that's a really good question because um, back when I was on CCC, just on Cast and Call Club, no other place of auditioning and stuff like that.
yeah,
Um,
the only place
yeah.
for you back then? Yeah,
The
same.
the problem is that it affected me mentally because
Yeah,
like before I do the audition, I'm curious, so I go look at the other people who auditioned and I listen to their
yeah,
auditions,
same.
and then I'm like, wait, this guy did this way. That sounds really good.
Wait, this guy is better,
Yeah, this
man.
guy's better than me.
Damn.
What the fuck?
Yeah,
How am I gonna get cast? This guy's gonna get cast. I'm not gonna get cast. Like, and I just can't help but
yeah.
feel that way. And there's nothing in me that would be like, no, no. Like, if I were to do that, I would never do Cast and Call Club. I don't want to do Cast and Call Club again unless the auditions are private or I have the self control to not look at the other auditions. because I will be curious, because sometimes I like the script. I will like the script the audition has, and I'll be like, yo, I want to hear people's takes on this. And then I'm like, oh, they're really good. They're really good.
And sometimes if you do that too much, it influences your own audition,
Yeah.
you know? It influences your own delivery and stuff. And that's not always a good thing because you're essentially stealing their flow and their
Yeah.
ideas and you try to get cast off of that. I'm not saying you do that. I'm saying in general, you know, because I used to do that.
Yeah.
If we're being honest, if this is an honest voice acting, you know, talk, I used to do that a lot.
Yeah.
I used to go. I used to go like, "Yo, this dude does this and that. I need to take it. I need to borrow it. I need to do it." And I gotta, I gotta, you know, I gotta admit it. Sometimes it did work. Sometimes
Mm.
I got casted because I yoinked a dude's style, and I just did it better. You know.
I get it, man, because I'm so guilty of this, because at the end of my CCC lifespan, I would say, there was an audition, I think for another Skyrim mod. And it was for NPCs and stuff like that. And bro, I heard this one audition. The dude sounded so good. He
Yeah,
sounded perfect, and I was like,
happens a lot. Happens a lot.
yeah.
Yeah.
And that was, I think that's a huge moment for me. Like something clicked in my brain. I was like, damn, this guy enunciates things perfectly. He sounds like an actual NPC from a game. It's convincing.
Yeah.
It was like, oh shit, like I should be
I
stepping.
gotta
Yeah,
do this. Yeah. Yeah.
I should be stepping my game up. I'm up against this dude. And look at what he did. And then I was like, when I felt that way, I was like, I mean, I got to do kind of like the same way that he does it. Like, oh, they sound so good. I got to sound like him. I got to do the exact same thing, but maybe they'll like my voice more and cast me.
That's what I've been doing too. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I was curious, how does that happen, or does it happen when you're auditioning on Twitter or on Discord? Because I know you have audition on Discord too, Voice Acting Club Discord. And by the way, it's a great Discord to be, very competitive,
Yeah.
very awesome.
It's an amazing
fucking
Discord. It is an amazing Discord, Voice Acting Club. For me personally, auditioning on Twitter is so different. It is so different.
I see.
Because it's like, basically they say, oh, we're casting for this project. We need male, female, non-binary, whatever, all that type of stuff. They list that.
Yeah.
Then they give like a Google Docs link or a Google Drive link or like a Google Forms link. And you just go there and they just give you the details. They tell you about the character. They give you the script, and that's it. That's it. You don't see other people's auditions. You don't see nothing.
Maybe that's a good thing. Yeah.
Yeah. And it allows you to just be like, oh shit, this is just me and the script. This is me.
No stealing.
Yeah. No stealing, no thinking, no insecurity, none of that. You just look at the script and you're like, okay, I'm going to do it this way. Or I'm going to take reference from this experience that I had. Or I'm going to, it's just you and the script at that point. And I think that's huge. I think that's a huge difference from Casting Call Club.
And I think you just did a good transition, a perfect transition into the next topic that I wanted to talk about you for a while.
Yeah.
Is your acting techniques. What do you do in the booth? How you do it? How do you approach a copy, a script? Can we just talk about that, because I think it's very fucking interesting, and I'm sorry I'm swearing.
It's okay. No, you can swear. You can swear. This is a fucking swearing podcast. Yeah.
This is a grown-up podcast.
It's a grown-up podcast. Yes.
So your acting techniques, what do you use and how do you do it?
Yeah, this is for me. I'm a person. My learning is very weird. The way I learn, the way I study. Like I don't.
That's interesting to hear.
I don't.
Yeah.
I don't like to like just memorize. I don't like to have someone like just teach me and stuff like that. I like trial and error, and I don't mean like applying. Like, oh, I have to, when I'm learning chemistry, I have to get the flask and I have to put in the water and then, no, I mean like I don't like, it's the reason, it's the reason that I don't like studying books or like studying all that type of stuff. I don't like that type of stuff. I don't like.
It's funny you say that, because a voice actor should be studying script, and yet you have a different approach.
Yeah, I have
it's awesome.
Very, very, very different approach. It's so instinctual for me. It is just instinct. I just let go of everything, and I'm like, I don't know how to really explain it.
Oh, so it kind of comes from you from within,
Yeah,
right? Are you saying that?
yeah.
Because okay, oh, I'm gonna ask you, do you use a technique called emotional recall? Because that's what I use a lot.
Mm. Well,
Basically,
yeah.
uh,
Explain it,
I'm
because it
just
may,
gonna
yeah.
explain it. It's the process of recalling a personal memory similar to that of your character in a particular scene
Mm.
in order to help you empathize the performance.
Yeah. So, I mean, you said you do that. I think I do it
Yeah.
sometimes. It depends. Like if I only do it if it's a really emotional scene, or
Oh.
sometimes like when I'm doing an evil character. I know quite a few devious people in my life. I know people who are
Okay.
evil, who are
Yeah.
manipulators, who like act that way. Sometimes when I'm struggling to get that emotion, or to feel truly evil and manipulative, like I know everything, stuff like that. When I played, like, for example, Naruto Shen, the character that I posted, like I remember, like,
Mm, yeah.
I do this with all my evil guy characters. It's like I remember there's one person in my life. I don't want to mention exactly who.
It's
No
good.
one knows him.
It's
No one
good.
knows him. It's like a person
Yeah,
that
yeah.
that is just in my personal life.
He's your inspiration. You can call him that,
They
you
are
know?
they are my inspiration.
Yeah.
And
Your
it's
muse for evil.
yes. And so I'm like, I think about it and I'm like, oh shit, this motherfucker, like, yo, this is how they acted towards this person. This is what they did. This is how their attitude is. This is how it is in their
Yes.
brain. This is like, I
Right.
try to tap into that when I'm doing,
So
yeah.
that's emotional recall, according to Meisner,
Mm,
who's a big guy. He was a huge acting teacher,
mm.
I think.
That's very
I don't
interesting.
really know a lot about the acting techniques and stuff. It turns out I used to do them without even realizing that I used to do some of them, you
Mm,
know? And I think the same thing is happening to you too
yeah.
when you talk about thinking about how this person thinks. Or yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've
So
also heard about the emotional recall thing. I think subconsciously I know it because, I've watched, as I said, I watched a lot of YouTube videos
yeah,
about acting. I watched a lot of that stuff, so it's definitely ingrained in me, that type of stuff. You know what I mean?
sometimes you don't know what exactly it's called, but you do it like you said instinctively.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's pretty fucking interesting. And for me personally, sometimes it's super hard to
Mm,
be in that state where I could just go into a certain person's mind,
yeah.
into a certain character's mind. How is it for you?
Oh man, it is hard. It is hard, cause like, so I say trial and error. Let me explain that. So let's say
Yeah, sure.
I did the audition for Noru Deshen. I did do it. Like I do so many takes. I do so many takes of my auditions. And what I do is I treat every take like it's my last take.
Mm,
You know,
yeah, same,
I
same, yeah.
treat every take like it's my last take. And basically, what I do is I don't study the script beforehand. I look at it, I think about it.
That's very interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think about it a little bit, but I don't like dissect it on like, oh, I got to stop here. I got to do this here. I got to do that here. I don't
Oh,
think
I
about that.
see. Yeah,
I don't think
yeah.
about that. It's more like, oh, okay, so this is what the character is feeling. This is what they're doing. I just get in and I do it. I do it how I think it should be done, and then I go.
And you have that
Mhm.
feeling inside, right? You feel inside how you should feel,
Yeah,
right?
and then I
Oh,
record it. Let's say I do a
nice.
line like, "Hey, you're violating the law," and then I just go
Yeah.
back and I look at it. And the thing is, it might be a long one, so I have to edit it down. And I even edit my outtakes. I edit them, and I take care of them so I can listen to them
Mm.
in a way that I would like. I have to listen to them like it was a finished product, like something that I would send, right?
That's what I do too. I sometimes put game ambience
Mm.
and I do and I put it on and then I play my auditions and I try to think, does it like fit? Does it
Oh.
feel natural? But yeah, that's a good thing you mentioned that. Yeah.
Bro, that's very interesting, dude. That's a really cool method. Like you put yourself.
Especially if
Yeah.
I'm especially if I'm doing like a Fallout
Mm.
mod, a Skyrim mod. I'm basically I'm booting up Fallout 4 ambience
Yeah,
or Skyrim ambience, and I try to put my auditions in there. But I think what you said is really important. How do you get into that mindset where that feeling uh, of being in the character's head just comes to you? Because there are certain days where you just can't get in there for the life of you.
bro. That's the thing. That's the thing that I do. I record a take and I go back to it. I edit it down. It's almost like a final product, but then I listen back to it and I'm like, okay, maybe I should do this a little
Oh
differently.
yeah.
I just feel it. I don't really think like, oh, I said this right here in a weird way. Like sometimes I do say that, like, but it's mostly like, oh, this doesn't sound right.
Right.
I can do
Yeah.
better than this. And so I go back and I do another take and then I go back and listen to it. I'm like, okay, I can do this better. Then I go back and do another take
Wow.
until I feel it completely, until it takes form completely, like until it's polished and it's like, a full thing, a full package. It takes me multiple takes to like hammer it down. It's like hammering a sword. You
Yeah.
clunk, clunk, clunk with a hammer, and then you turn it up, like you put it in the fire, and then you keep
You
doing
gotta
it.
try it and
Yeah.
try it. Yeah, do it and do it. So, okay, on top of that, I was gonna ask you, when you are in a live directed
Mm,
session, right?
yeah.
How often does your intuition uh, is something that the guys want, the guys who are directing you? Like, how often do you fall into that pocket instantly?
So basically, in my live sessions, I have to completely rely on my instinct and what I think is right. And usually,
Interesting.
because I auditioned for that character, I won't have to do much, but I do have to. The thing is, I think I do have to take some time to adjust. I'm an actor, as I said, because that's my process. It's like I have to do
Yeah.
multiple takes, and I want to hear him back. I want to hear him back, but sometimes I don't get to hear him back. And also, directors just, I think, certain directors or most directors can get what they want out of my performance, and I mean, that's how it should be. So when I'm in a live session, let's say my last live session was actually for Black Desert Online. It
Mm.
was for the game.
Yeah, I saw that. It was fucking
Yeah,
awesome.
thanks, man. Yeah, and basically the idea of it was, at first I did the in-game lines, the actual character lines, like for example dialogue or like I'm giving you a
Yeah,
mission, etc. Oh, sorry, excuse me.
it's okay.
Yeah, and basically, uh, the next part was like the dubbing because the scenes, the cut
Oh
scenes,
shit.
yeah,
Oh
the
shit.
cut scenes were already in Korean, and I had to dub over them, and I had to do a live dub, like I did with the Journey, the film. Um,
Did you have to match certain things
yeah, yeah,
that the yeah?
100%. Yeah, I heard the original
Damn.
Korean in my headphones, and I basically do the same or do it like
Is
not
that
yeah.
hard to is that hard to do? Like, do you have to match a guy's like cadence or
Yeah,
something?
I try, but the thing I do have an ear for it. I have an ear for it. When I hear a performance, I can
Right.
like it's like a waveform getting stored in my brain. Like, oh, this
No.
goes up here, he does this inflection here. It just gets stored. Like it just gets stored in my brain and I can repeat it in a way that is like very close to the actual original sound or
Mm.
cadence of it, if that makes sense. So I have an
How
ear.
much of yourself are you allowed to put into that mix?
Hmm.
Or is this a different kind of thing?
Okay, so for me, like I haven't played. I don't think I've played a character. I played a character one time in some project, where it was more my natural voice,
Mm.
and it was like closer to like a normal dude.
Yeah,
That
chill,
yeah,
dude. Yeah.
just a dude, just a guy. It was like a leader or something. I don't know. I never saw that project get released. I don't know what happened to it. It was a really cool project though. Um, and that was the
Yeah.
one time that I was like really okay, putting a lot of me into the performance. Um, but usually with characters like that, I also like even the evil characters I play, I give them a charm. Like of course I give them a part of myself. It's always a part of myself. Like it's always some part of me, and uh it's always, all of it is my experience, all of it is what I my perspective, but I try to shift it. I try to focus it into like a prism of like, oh, this is the person.
Of the character,
Yeah, I
yeah.
mean, like
Yeah.
as I said, it's like I take influence from this person. This person made me feel this way. At this part of
Mm.
my life, I felt this way, or I had this opinion, I had this idea in my head. Maybe I should recall that or get back to that, if that makes sense, in a certain performance.
Yeah, it's very interesting because I imagine those sessions where you have to match what the other guy did could be really hard to
Mm,
do because you're essentially copying his performance, but you got to do sometimes that, in the industry, you got to sometimes do that. And I guess the thing you did for the game, it came out fucking awesome
thanks,
and you
man.
nailed it, but what I'm trying to say is I guess it looked easy to do, but it was actually hard to do, you know?
Yeah, I mean, like during, like the directors made it easier, and they were lenient, and they were nice. And the thing is,
And that's
yeah,
important too, yeah.
that's very,
Yeah.
very important. And the thing is, sometimes I don't. Sometimes something like a glitch happens in the Zoom, because we record through Source Connect and Zoom, and
Yeah.
I see the live stream through Zoom on my phone screen. Like they show me the video that I'm supposed to dub over, and
Yeah,
sometimes it
yeah, yeah.
glitches. Like sometimes it does a little glitch, and I don't see how the character's mouth moved in a certain way. Um,
That's key. That's key.
yeah,
Yeah.
or sometimes it glitches. Like I think a few times I didn't see the mouth flaps move exactly like in the movie The Journey. I didn't see them move exactly, or I didn't
Oh,
focus on them.
shit.
But the thing is, I do it still. I don't. It's like I don't think about it. I don't. I don't think about it. I just do it.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
That's a great point.
Yeah, I just, as I said, I listen, I hear the voice actor's performance that I'm supposed to dub over, and then I just try to follow that timing and follow that cadence, and it should match with the mouth flaps. Like it should match it. So I'm like,
And it did
yeah,
match, so that's a you know, when you said you don't think about it, you just do it. That's a great point because in my early days, when I just was doing CCC auditions, like, almost all the time.
yeah,
I didn't think about it. I was just doing it, like, just relax, just do it, and somehow from that, the performances just came to life, you
yeah,
know? When you don't think about it, you just do it, but in but, to a certain extent, after some time, you gotta stop, I guess, and think
yeah,
about uh, the techniques and stuff you're saying. Because let's do this, for example. The line is, "Hey, you stole my socks," okay?
yeah.
And okay, are you gonna think about the guy who stole your socks when you say it, and how he looks, and how he stole it, and what the socks mean to you? Or are you just gonna say, like, "Hey, you stole my socks," because you could do it without thinking about all of that, you know?
Well, I mean, for me, when you said that, like right now, if I were to say it right now, how
Yeah.
I would channel it genuinely is I would think about, like, I think about the action. I think about them like, I think about like what
Mm.
I was doing before it, and what I'm gonna
Oh,
feel
yeah.
after it. Like, for example,
It's a great
when you said that, I imagined myself in like a room, like in some house, and
and it just happens to you like boom,
yeah,
you
like
know?
I
Damn.
imagine I walk through the door and I look for my socks, and I'm like, "Where are my socks?" And like a guy walks in, and I'm like, "Hey, you stole my socks!" Like something like that.
That's fucking
Yeah,
awesome, man.
I
And it
imagine it.
just happens to you like that, or like fast.
Yeah.
It's awesome because for me, I don't know what it is. Like my brain is slow. It takes time to
Mm.
just imagine all of that, but it just happens to you, and that's fucking awesome.
Thanks, man.
You
Yeah,
know?
I think, and so yeah, man, I think I really like do need classes. Like I do want to take classes in the future, because I need to get the technical part. It can't just all be instinct, you know?
That's
So,
a good point.
yeah.
That's a great point. But I was wondering, how do you get so much confidence? Because
Mm.
I saw in your auditions, right? I saw like even back in 2022 or 2021, you was just doing auditions every goddamn
Mm,
day with full confidence and stuff. And on Twitter, you have confidence.
yeah.
Everywhere I look, you seem to have confidence. So I was wondering, how does confidence and anxiety, how does that affect your life and your performance and your work?
Thank you. That's a really good. A very, very, very important question for anyone who's a creative in general, or has a dream that they want to really, really like achieve or get into. I think as like as when when I started back in 2020, I just was like, I just gotta do it. I have to. My mindset is I have
Yeah,
to just give this a try. I have to do this, and if I'm
just gotta do it.
yeah, and if I'm gonna do it, I gotta do it. You know what I mean? I gotta do it. I can't be like
Mm,
thinking about it. I can't be thinking about every move. I can't be thinking about
maybe that's the key part. I mean,
yeah.
God, like, does your anxiety just come in and say, like, hold up, hold up, hold up? Do you really know how to do this?
Mm.
Does this happen to you or not? Like in the past or in the present?
I mean, it's come to me at some bad times. Like when I'm, for example,
Mm,
like it can't. I think it's happened like one time maybe, or like just like when I start doubting myself, I'm like, well, I think when I started voice acting again after my hiatus, when I stopped because I had studies
mm,
and everything, I came back, and for a while, just a little bit, I had this feeling where I'm like, oh, I'm
mm.
not, I'm
Yeah,
someone who's just like completely dependent on instinct. I have taken like a class before. Like it's not like I don't study voice acting. I do. I really watch
yeah,
videos. I've taken a
yeah, yeah,
class. I've taken Crispin Freeman's class. I do it all the time. It's not like when I say I don't take classes, it means I don't, take the paid classes yet, or like those focused, ones where it's like an hour, 2 hours, and stuff like that. Because I did the Crispin Freeman class, it
yeah.
was amazing, but it was a short time. It was a very short time, and it was a lot of money. So I can't afford that. But the thing is, I
True.
do I do study it. I watch videos. Do acting techniques that I've ingrained them into my work. I don't really like, as I said, I'm not really like super technical. I just try to ingrain it in my brain. I just like I do like I just
I get it.
drill it in
Yeah.
there. I understand it, and it just stays there. Like I want to solidify it. That's how I like to study my things.
You do it over and over again.
Yeah.
And to anyone who's listening and thinking, oh, he's talking about acting classes and it's how it is expensive. It is
Oh,
expensive as hell. If you want quality acting classes, it is expensive. It it takes time. You have to have time
yeah.
to 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 do them. Yeah.
Time and money. Like
Yeah.
Crispin Freeman's class was $215, and it was like two hours at most. I think. So
But it still was, I imagine, it was very useful
yeah.
and it was quality because from what a friend of mine, a voice acting friend, has told me,
Hmm.
and I think a guest on your podcast talked about this too. Before you take any voice acting classes, you gotta make sure that it's a quality class, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not just selling bullshit, right?
Yeah. 100%. You got to know who's teaching you the class as well.
Yeah.
You got to understand that. And like that was a huge financial decision for me. Like that was a lot of money. It is a lot of money. Like if I were to pay $200 for something right now, it is a lot of money. But
For
that
me,
yeah.
same, yeah,
Yeah, this was
same.
back in 2021, and I think that was when I made like my first big video game. Like from that video game, I got paid like a pretty good sum of money. So I was like, okay, I want to reinvest it into my work. You know what I mean? So I went and
That's a
yeah.
good idea, actually.
Hmm.
If anybody's listening to this and thinking, "Oh, I don't need classes. This is bullshit." You do need
You
classes.
do,
When you
yeah,
listen back to yourself, like 2 years apart from now or whatever, you do need classes. Everybody needs classes, man.
yeah,
So,
yeah,
look, I was wondering, like, you was talking about your presence,
yeah,
and it ties in with your confidence.
yeah.
I'm a guy who has absolutely shit ass internet shit ass social media presence.
Yeah.
So I was wondering, could you give me some tips? Could you talk about that
Mm.
a little bit?
Okay, so for me, the biggest thing that I focus on this a lot, and you just have. I recently actually I watched a video from Paul Schmidt. Paul Schmidt,
Who's
amazing.
that?
He's a voice actor. He's a teacher.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
nice.
he's a professional voice actor. Actually, one time, Paul, me and Paul spoke.
Oh,
Um,
nice.
like one time he messaged me on LinkedIn, and he's like, "Oh, I'm doing like a survey, or I'm like studying voice actors for my classes." Like he wanted to understand things about voice
Mm,
actors from different walks of life.
different
Um,
voice actors, yeah.
yeah, and he wanted to like study and ask them questions and stuff like that. And I was one of them. And we spoke. We had a conversation a while ago. That was like I think it was 2 years ago, like over a year ago, just a long time ago. It was a pretty long time ago that we spoke, and I realized that he has a YouTube channel now. And so
Mm,
I watched a recent video. He was like 5 things that you're doing in your voice acting marketing that's wrong in your social media
wrong.
marketing.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I watched that video. It was so important. It made me realize something. It was like pick your audience.
Mm,
Like I post a lot on Twitter, right?
yeah.
Um, and then I realized, like, oh shit, I totally forgot that LinkedIn exists. And the thing is, like, LinkedIn got me Coca Cola. LinkedIn,
That's a big deal, bro. That's a
yeah,
big deal.
LinkedIn is huge. It's huge. It is huge. And I'm like, what the fuck? I haven't posted there in 2 months. Are you?
Some people say
Yeah.
that, voice acting and LinkedIn, nah, but in actuality, there's a lot of voice acting stuff going on there.
Yeah. I mean, I have in my LinkedIn, I have like 500 plus people voice acting connections that I just connect with voice actors and stuff like that to be in the know and
Mm.
to keep up with that type of stuff. LinkedIn is super important. I've only been realizing that more and more. LinkedIn is so important, and Paul said that you should pick your audience. You should know who you're aiming this towards. You should, your post shouldn't just be like, oh, I'm just posting this, boom, into the wild. Whatever happens, happens. Like it should be more calculated. It should be more thought into it. And from the start, yeah,
That's good
go ahead.
tips. That's good
Yeah,
tips. That's great tips, actually. I never thought about that in that detail. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah. I mean,
Okay.
when I started, that was my approach. It was a lot of detail. It was a lot of care. It was a lot of thought that I put into every single move that I made. But then the problem is my confidence and my methods were shaken heavily, because of
By what?
but
By what?
yeah, because of school, man. Because I had to leave voice
Oh,
acting
yeah.
and leave everything that I loved and focus on the shitty education system and shit like that, bro.
Shout out Iraqi education,
Shout out Iraqi
Yeah.
education system for destroying my flow. Let's go. Yeah, man. Bro, it genuinely the effects that 2023, the studying and like all like the final year of high school had on me are just like immeasurable. Like the damage it did is crazy on me. Like
But you managed to bounce back up,
yeah, I'm trying
It's
my
great.
best. Yeah, I'm trying my best still. Um, but what I used to
Mm,
really do is that what I started
yeah.
with is a very important thing is branding. Like I care about that. Like
That's a good point. Yeah.
yeah, like my profile pictures, the headshots that I have aren't with that. They don't come with that background. Like the photographer just takes a picture of on a white background or on green screen,
Yeah,
and
because you do that because you like the color
yeah,
purple,
and I just put a gradient in the background and I keep it there, and I use it for all my new headshots and shit like that, and I just keep it like that, and my banner
Oh, yeah.
my banner also has those colors. It also has a background with those colors. And
I've seen
yeah,
other voice actors have this cool ass art done for them, right?
yeah,
And they even make it so that in their audio demos, th- they pop out and they move,
yeah.
It's all that extra attention to detail. And I guess now what you're saying is that that is important, right?
Attention to detail is huge. It is. I think the success that I've found thus far is because of the attention to detail that I give to things. It's
And
yeah,
having the balls to just be out there and say like, "Yo, look at me, listen to me,"
yeah,
I have shit, I'm doing shit, I have shit done,
yeah,
you know. God damn, I mean, like when we talk about that, it seems so easy and simple, but it's just
It's
um
difficult. I think it's
yeah.
difficult to pick your audience. It's difficult to the hard part is um that you got to be confident that this is the right move. That's the thing.
Yeah, that's the hard part.
Yeah, cuz
Is it the right move?
that's the thing. Like you got to think about it. You got to think about the details, but you can't think about them for too long. You got to like consider them and you got to like give them care, but then you can't give them too much
Mm.
care and too much time and then you keep thinking, you can't keep thinking. You do.
Overthinking is a bad habit that I used to have, and
Yeah.
I think you just nailed this idea because if you overthink too much, you essentially I just fall into this pit of like, why do this in the first place?
Yeah.
Like all these anxieties, all these doubts just come out because of excessive overthinking.
I used to have a balance. Like I used to have a balance of like I don't overthink, but I'm a perfectionist. Like I perfect
Yeah.
everything. I used to have a balance of that. This was before the end of high school, before I had to my before my hiatus. This was before it, man. And the thing is it threw me off so much and now that balance is gone. Cuz like in school I had to lean towards not caring. I had to because if I did care and
Mm.
was a perfectionist in school, my mental health would have been done. I would want to kill myself genuinely.
The
It was
education system is fucked. It just
yeah.
yeah.
And there was a lot of conditions surrounding that. At the same time that I had to study, um, we had to move, and then we had to. It was just a
That's
bunch of
harsh.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a very very tough time in my life, and so I couldn't focus on the details. I couldn't be a
So,
perfectionist. Yeah.
it's it's very interesting. You say you had a lot of energy spent on doing real life stuff, right?
Mhm.
So I was wondering, how do you manage to get the energy to put your heart and soul into voice acting, and then at the end of the day, you go back home and you take care of stuff? Because a lot of voice actors have a lot of different answers to this. So, what's your answer to this? How do you manage to get that drive constantly going? Or
Well,
is it constantly going?
so personally, the thing is in voice acting, I've always been part time. Like before, when I used to be
Mm,
because I had school and I had stuff to take care of at home, so it was always
sure.
like, but which is why I always looked for the next big step. Like I always looked up. I always looked at the moon. I didn't look in front
Shoot
of
for the
me.
stars. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
I
yeah.
always shot for the stars. I always wanted to get the next big audition because like I don't know. I know my worth. I know my worth. I know that I can do that. I know that I can audition for that big project and I know that I can get that role,
Mm.
you know? Because
Oh,
yeah.
okay. Does having like a lot of rejections happen, does that affect your self-worth? Because for me, it kind of did a little bit, and then I
Mm,
bounced back. And then, it always affects uh, actors, especially artistic people. We tend to have sensitive souls, and
yeah.
when we have a lot of rejection just going on or ghosting, it's part of the industry, but it still affects you. So, does that take away from your confidence, your drive, and your motivation?
For me personally, I said this in like one of the episodes in the podcast. I said, I wasn't an artistic person before. I was never really like a super artsy kid at all. Never, never.
Thank you, Iraqi education,
Thank
by
you.
the way.
Yeah, thank you, Iraqi education. But at the same time, um,
Brilliant,
it's just
brilliant
yeah, it's
decisions
it's not.
by the government.
Yeah, thank you, government. But it wasn't. It's not just the Iraqi education system. What also shaped that is just my upbringing, and
Yeah, that's key. Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah, true.
my mom was never really focused on art because she didn't have the time nor energy for that. So, but at the same time,
Yeah.
like I don't know. I just picked stuff up and like I really don't know how to explain it. I don't want to really go into that much detail because like it just doesn't make sense. Like it wouldn't answer your question. But for me, I'm more of a business person and less of an art person. You know what I
I
mean?
think I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
You, I think I get what you're saying. You don't allow that rejection to completely destroy your soul because maybe you think about it as part of the experience and you just roll with it, I guess.
Yeah, like, well, the thing is, I owe that. I think I owe that to the videos and voice actors that I watched, before or during my the start of my voice acting journey. I listened to Crispin Freeman's
Mm.
podcast, Voice Acting Mastery. I listened to Bill Dewey's. I listened to,
Bill is a great guy, by the way.
Bill
I've
is
seen him too.
amazing.
Yeah, yeah,
He's
yeah.
amazing, man. I listen to those guys, especially Voice Acting Mastery and what was it? There was another one. Um, there was another. I totally forget. I always forget his name, but it was like two guys that did this podcast, and I always listen. I listened to that religiously, like religiously. Sometimes
Yeah,
I replayed the
yeah.
episodes. I had them downloaded, and I replayed them, and I listened. I listened. I listened. I replayed them over and over again till it hit. Like they said every time, you have to. There is voice acting is rejection. Voice auditioning is rejection. Auditioning is the job
Yeah,
over and
yeah.
over again. And it's like I accepted it. I was like, it made me strong. It made me like understand like, oh shit, this is what I need to do. This is how I need to think. Um, and so
They
like,
don't
yeah,
do it, I guess, out of hate for you. They just do it for the better of the project.
yeah, you
And
gotta
it's
understand.
easy
Yeah,
it's easy to say it like that, but I guess in the moment it's kind of hurtful. It's kind of hurtful, but when you think about it as a business or as a system, you kind of get why they do this, right? If they have hundreds and thousands of auditions, and
yeah.
yeah, I mean, the way you said it, it kind of clicked for me. You just gotta let it go, and it's part of the business, I
I
guess.
mean,
Yeah, yeah,
thinking about it now, how I would describe it is, voice acting is a business. Like it's your personal business. It's your brand. It's
yeah.
everything. You're the business manager. So now when
True.
I think about it like let's imagine you're running a grocery store, your business.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah, sure, yeah.
And so you have this grocery store and you have customers that,
I
come into the store.
I
Yeah.
got bread.
Yeah.
I got bread
I
for
got
sale.
bread. And let's say um like you have an item that the other store doesn't have. But the thing is, there's another store right down the street or something like that that has something that you don't have. And
Fucking bastards.
yeah, so so like uh, you have customers that come back to you because I know I do this with some stores around my where I live. Like
Sure, yeah.
like sometimes I just like it's a really good store. Like there's this is really good store here in my town. It's so good. They're so nice. It's big. It's awesome. But the thing is, they don't have something that I want a lot of the time. And so
Damn.
at the start, I used to go to them. I used to go and shop from that store. But then I realized at some point I needed something they didn't have. So I stopped going to them and I started going to another store. But like it's not
True.
under their control all the time. Like if it was under their control, if it was something that they can supply, um, or if it was something, maybe it was more like it's just sometimes convenience. It's sometimes a want. It's sometimes like it's just like there's so many
Yeah.
factors that play into that. I go to this other store because it just might be more convenient. There's so many factors that I just can't list. I can't list. So I'm saying if I was the store owner of the store that I don't go to anymore,
Yeah.
I would.
Should you
Yeah,
should you take it personally as a owner
no.
if a customer just leaves? I guess no. And that's the same for voice acting, right? For
Yeah, I
auditions.
wouldn't think about it like that. Like if I was this store owner, I wouldn't think like, oh my god, what did this customer think about me? Did I do
How dare
something
he
wrong?
leave,
Yeah, no,
Like,
like, but what did I do wrong? Like you gotta tell me.
yeah.
No, I wouldn't.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be
Yeah.
doing that. You understand? So like it just doesn't make sense to think like that. It doesn't make sense to really like be sad or like because there's
I
so many
guess, yeah.
factors. There's so many factors. Unless it's something that was within your control, but you can't control everything. Of
And
course.
if you do
Yeah.
that too much, you could eat yourself alive.
Exactly.
You know? Because you don't, in a certain moment, you don't know what was wrong about your audition.
Yeah.
And a lot of the times, people don't just say why they didn't pick you. They
Yeah.
just move on.
A
And if
hundred
you keep
percent.
thinking about that, and overthinking that, you're just gonna fucking eat yourself alive. I guess yeah, that's fucking awesome. Awesome metaphor.
Yeah, man. And
Awesome metaphor.
yeah, I think it's just like you have to believe in what you have right now. You have to believe in that, and you have to believe that's worth someone's time, and that it's good enough, and and that
Mm,
you will present it
yeah.
forwards. You have to believe in that, but at the same time, you can't always be comfortable with it. You understand?
Oh
Like
yeah.
you
You
have
get
to
you.
believe in it, and you have to present it forwards and be confident in it. And at the same time, you can't stay comfortable within what you have, and you have to keep learning and expanding what you have.
Because you can't improve if you think you're the hot shit all the
Yeah,
time. Yeah. Yeah.
100%. So it's like a balance. Like I just think about it in a way like, oh, well, I'm very I love what I have. I love what I have right now, and it's good that my understanding right now is in a really good place, like, because otherwise I wouldn't be getting what I'm getting. I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing. And I wouldn't be working with the people that I'm working with, you know?
Sure. And you would emotionally burn yourself out if you thought like, oh, this bastard didn't pick me. I'm
Yeah.
gonna think about this for 6 fucking months and I'm not gonna
Yeah.
let it go. And I'm gonna fucking find his house and find out where he lives. Like I'm exaggerating, but
Yeah.
basically that's a certain mindset that you get into and you fucking eat your brain out. And
Yeah.
I guess, yeah, just taking a step back, it's just business.
A
You just
hundred
gotta
percent. And it's like
do it again.
I got this big audition. It's huge audition. Like it would be number one on my resume, 100%. And like
Damn.
I'm in my Gmail, it
Can't wait
was
to see. Can't wait to see what it's about, man.
oh, I mean, I don't know if I don't think I'm cast. I'm not yet, at least. I don't know.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
I assumed you got it.
No, no,
Damn.
no. I got this.
Yeah.
I just got it in my email. I remember it when I started speaking about this. I don't really think about it at all. Like I don't,
Yeah.
I don't think about it. And it's an NDA, so I can't really speak about it. So like it's a huge audition, and the thing is, I sent in my audition, uh, and I may have like rushed it just a little bit, because
It happens.
yeah,
It
I
it
wanted to
just
send it.
happens.
Yeah, and so like I sent it over, but I don't think about it. Like if I wasn't cast, I wouldn't be like, oh shit, this is
And
because
that's a good
yeah,
point. A lot of voice acting coaches they say just send it and forget it. Send it and forget it because if you don't do that, you're gonna just fucking go crazy, man.
yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I know. I mean, but you gotta you can't just completely forget. I think as well.
No, no, no.
Yeah,
You got to keep it in the back of your mind. If it's a big thing, of course, it's going to be hard for you to forget.
yeah, and
You're
also
always going to be like, well, I
yeah,
got to get this. I got to get this. And that determination is important too. But you just got to sometimes chill out, I guess. And I know I'm talking about this now on the podcast.
yeah,
I don't usually do that, but I have to start doing that. I have to start letting go. I have to start, just not taking stuff too personally, I guess.
100%, 100%, man. I think that's really the best way to go about it, and the only way to really like move forwards, and like getting back. I think we should get back to like the social media stuff. I think that's
Yeah, a presence. Yeah.
yeah, super important, man. I mean, I've been doing it. I've been a voice actor for 3 years. I think I made my Twitter account 2021, um, and not in 2020. So like, my social media presence, I don't really have a big social media presence. I don't.
Compared to me, you got a big ass presence because I hide myself away. But after all these tips, I'm gonna change some shit.
Hell
Yeah,
yeah, man, bro. I would love to see it. And please, if you need anything, you let me know, man, because I would like to help you with that. If you have any questions and stuff
I
like
would like to sip some of that fucking confidence you have. 'Cause
that.
yeah, so go on.
Yeah. So I was saying, I made my account. It would be 3 years ago now. I mean, it's almost 2024. So, I,
God damn.
I posted. I did roll announcements. The biggest bump in my followers, comes when I follow another voice actor or something. That's really where
Oh
my
yeah.
followers come from. I follow other people. They see my work and they're like, "Oh, this is a cool guy. I'll follow him back." That's really it. That's really the biggest thing. And I also made a tweet that got like what 30,000 likes, something like that.
Oh shit.
Yeah, it was about like
Yo.
I was talking about AI or something like that. I was like, yo, be careful, watch out for your contracts, read your contracts.
Especially on CCC, guys. Watch
Yeah.
out for those fucking fuckers trying to steal your voice. I'm telling
Yeah.
you right now, man.
For real, man. And so I made that tweet, and I think that was my biggest. I think I got like 100 followers from that tweet.
I was gonna ask you about that. Like, I see you interacting with other voice actors a lot on
Yeah.
the timeline. So I was gonna ask you, do you do that strategically or do you do that just naturally?
Well, okay. So I really like. I think it seems like a lot because like, I don't get on Twitter very often at all. I don't like
Mm.
I don't like my voice acting Twitter timeline. Like it's I don't as I said, I don't like being on Twitter, not because I love the people there. I love the voice actors, but it is demoralizing, man.
It
Um
kind of takes your time away a lot.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
So I don't like being on my socials too much. But the thing is, I have to be. Like I have to be. And when I see something, when I see a friend that had a success or a voice acting colleague or even someone I don't know, if I see it, I have to congratulate them. I have to because like it's nice. It's nice, and I like
yeah.
especially
Yeah.
keeping up with people and like staying connected and stuff like that. I think that's very important. So I just do it when I see it. I don't really think about okay, I'm gonna get on Twitter and congratulate 5 people today. Like
This is my script for today. I gotta
yeah.
do like, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
this is my. I gotta get in. I'm gonna say congratulations, three exclamation marks precisely, and then
Exactly three. Yeah,
yeah, I don't really think about it that much. But I think I gotta get back to that mindset. I gotta get back to that mindset of like, oh shit, thinking about every move that I make. I have to get back to that. Um, it's been a while. It's been a while before since I
it
get
also
yeah.
has to have a balance. You said you gotta relax sometimes, and on top of that, you gotta think about your steps. So I guess a balance is important, and getting that balance is key too. Because from that relaxation, from that feeling of I'm just chilling. For me personally, a lot of good performances come because I don't assume that somebody's gonna fucking judge me. And
Yeah.
I know that's a stupid thing to assume if you're a voice actor. Oh no, somebody's gonna judge me. That's just gonna happen. But sometimes I just gotta chill, relax, but still keep thinking about taking proper steps like it's a plan or something.
Yeah. I mean, me personally, I had a very like a massively stressful year. And I didn't really get a change. Like, okay, let me tell you about me before the hiatus that I
Ooh.
took. Let me tell you about this is why I always say, you know, I miss that part of me. I miss like it felt like it like I got hammered the fuck down in school. Like genuinely like it was like a debuff. Like I have a debuff on me right now, bro.
Debuff, yeah.
Bro, some
Mentally, physically, yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
It's
maybe,
like a
yeah.
witch from Minecraft threw like a slowness potion on me, bro. Um,
A soul crushing school fucking arrow. Yeah.
yeah, and like what I like to remember is my gauge for how good I am doing and how energetic I am and how focused I am is how much I want to listen to
Mm.
Yeezus by Kanye West. That is my
Okay.
gauge. Yeah, genuinely, I'm very serious about it.
Yeah.
Then when I if I have the urge and I enjoy listening and I want to listen to Yeezus by Kanye West, especially
Especially,
yeah.
especially because it's a very particular album. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's like an album. I used to listen to it before my interviews. I used to listen to it to bump myself up. Not my
To
interviews,
hype
like
yourself up, right?
yeah,
Right?
hype myself up and like feel as confident as possible.
I
And
see. You just answered another question I have. How
yeah,
do you get confident? How do you calm down yourself before the big moments? So I guess you just have your albums and stuff to
yeah,
help
bro,
that with
bro.
that.
I used to listen. I used to put on site. Yeezy season approaching. Fuck whatever y'all been hearing. All that shit.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Black
Just feeling
skinhead,
that.
black skinhead with those
Ooh,
drums. Man,
that's a fucking awesome beat. Like,
yeah,
and those
dude,
fucking screams too.
it's
They used to
so
get
good.
me fucking hyped before fucking school and shit. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
And also Like a big one is "I Am a God." This song "I Am a God." That shit makes you feel like
Yeah.
a god. It does.
It
It
does make you feel, yeah, it does make you feel like a god.
yeah.
But it's, it's a Kanye thing to say, but you could
Yeah. I
put
mean,
yourself into that mindset too.
yeah, I mean, it's just the vibes of it.
Yeah.
I don't like to be overconfident, but the thing is, these songs help me reach a place in my head where I'm like, I
I
don't
gotta do that
care.
more, I guess.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it reaches a point in my head where it's like, I don't care. I'm gonna be me. I'm gonna do me. I'm just going to focus. It gives me such a huge amount of focus. And now the thing that I notice is when I listen to Yeezus, I don't feel that. I don't feel that anymore. And it's not because I listened to it too
Why?
much. I know I didn't.
Why?
I know I didn't listen to it too much. I know it because I love it. I still love it. There's a part of me that's like, oh, I really want to love it. I really want to listen to it. I really want to feel it again. But it feels like
What
now,
changed?
it feels like I can't get that energy out of me anymore. I can't. It's like trapped. It's like somewhere there. It is there. I'm 100% sure it's there.
Mm.
But it just doesn't, it's not like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do to get that out again. I don't know. Like, I've been trying a lot of stuff. I've been trying to get that confidence and get that focus and crazy stuff back, but I can't. I don't know what it is.
Maybe you're supposed to put that shit in your headphones and beat somebody up or some shit.
I
I don't
mean,
know.
bro, I beat like 5 people, man. It didn't work, man. I didn't beat 5 people. I didn't
He's
beat, yeah.
wanted. He's wanted by the fucking Interpol.
Yeah, bro.
You
That's
guys.
me. That's me
Uh,
right there. Man.
Man,
Yeah.
from a psychology perspective, if we're doing some pseudo intellectual stuff,
Sure, yes.
uh, what is blocking you? Something is blocking you, and
Mm.
I guess it has something to do with your high school experiences and bad experiences in high school. The stress, the trauma of
Yeah.
having to finish all of this bullshit, the family shit you said you got going on, because you had a
Yeah.
lot of stuff going on in the family, a lot of bad stuff, I'm
Yeah.
not going to go into that, but you talked about it in your past episodes.
Yeah.
So it all adds up, and how do you get out of that? I guess you just, I don't know, you just try to move on, try to
So
I don't know.
So let me explain something to you. So the thing I realized, I realized how traumatic it is to me, like how that happened was I realized
Yeah.
how stressed I was when during the exams, I couldn't just do the exams and be done with it. I started making music during the exams, and I spoken about this.
Yeah.
I think genuinely, if I hadn't started making music and if I wasn't listening to that much music at the time,
Oh, yeah.
I would be,
You talked
yeah,
talked about this, yeah.
I don't know where I would be, man. Like, I feel like that was saving me. Like, music, learning music and finding music, that shit saved
Making
me.
making stuff. I guess
Yeah.
that's the answer.
Yeah.
Mm.
I didn't, at the time, I couldn't do voice acting. I couldn't audition. I didn't have the focus for that. So I just got Logic on my computer and I just started making music. I just started like making stuff and I was like just from instinct, just from like the stuff that I know and learning just a little bit and I just like it was crazy. It was weird and I was sharing it with my friends. I was like, "Yo, listen to this." And they're like, "What the fuck, bro? Bro, we have an
I
exam
listened
tomorrow."
to this. I listened to this, and it's, for a first song, official review coming in right now. No, I'm just kidding. For a first song, it was pretty good. It had some issues with the mixing, but
Yeah.
if you would go back in and fix it, there was a lot of fucking heart in the lyrics, a lot of fucking
Oh yeah, and
pain,
the NGF, yeah.
yeah, and the feeling and the heart. Because maybe, when we think about it, guys, art is all about expressing yourself.
Yes.
And, I guess, I don't know what I'm talking about, but I guess that's what helped you with with the mental problems
Yeah.
of your high school. And maybe, do you think, is that going to help you with your
Like what
block?
well, see, I really don't know because look, for me, I carried that over to right now, the music making stuff. When I'm feeling down, I always boot up Logic and I always like just start playing the bass, doing something, and making some sort of music. I always do that.
That's good. That's great.
Yeah, that's something that I learned. But the thing is, that's not enough. It's like a medicine, but it's not like a boost. It's not like it's like it feels like it's chronic, and the medicine only numbs it. You know.
It's like a Hello Kitty, a Hello Kitty. What's it called?
What's was it?
Like a thing you put on your skin if you got a bruise.
Oh, Band-Aid.
A Hello Kitty Band-Aid
Yeah.
on a bullet wound.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Pretty much. Yeah, pretty much. And it just feels like, I can't get that out. I mean, have you had that sort of issue before? Like
I have
creatively?
a lot of that with anxiety. It
Mm.
just comes and goes in waves. And in this podcast too, you could hear it in my voice. Sometimes my voice just it locks up. And I want to say a lot of things, but it just locks up and I can't say it. And I've been sitting here fucking drinking beer and shit to relax myself. But it's not really helping that much. But the more I talk, the better it kind of goes. It comes and goes in waves. And that anxiety, it happens in voice acting too. Like you said, overthinking and overanalyzing yourself kind of puts me in a bad spot.
Yeah.
For example, I had this role that I had to do for a gun guy, a Russian gun guy, and I had to do a Russian accent. And I was thinking, how do I do a Russian accent? I was overthinking that, but 2 weeks ago I was doing a Russian accent without even thinking about it. So
Yeah.
that overthinking stuff, it kind of gets in the way.
Definitely.
Yeah, so especially I gotta mention for all my disabled fellas out there, the way you are brought up in your childhood, especially if you have a disability, like I have a physical disability, right?
Yeah.
It kind of puts a stop on your confidence. You develop this inferiority complex, sort of, and it takes a lot to just get over that,
Yeah,
But
man.
but like you said, you got to find ways to heal yourself like you do with the music, and you just got to keep moving on. And I guess I got to start popping some pills,
In what way?
to deal,
Metaphorically or physically? What are we talking about here?
to it's just a metaphor, guys.
Okay,
Relax,
just
relax.
just a metaphor, please be a metaphor.
Yeah, to deal with anxiety.
Yeah.
And yeah, so the main point I was saying is you got to figure yourself out in your mind, and then it all just comes naturally, I guess.
So
All
I wonder, like, for you, like you say, you say you have a physical disability,
yeah,
and
yeah.
so I wonder, like, does that play into like any of your voice acting stuff, or like, if how does that work for you? Like, how does it affect you in your voice
You
acting?
said that in the booth you kind of sometimes you kind of get physical, right? And that's a good thing to do, and that's important. But the physicality in the booth is limited for me, but I just sit down on the chair and I do what I can do. But the beautiful thing about voice acting is in real life, people only used to see my disability first
Yeah.
and then my personality, right? Because that's just how life works,
Yeah.
But in voice acting, they don't see my disability, okay?
Yeah.
Because I and they just see my voice acting and they just see the skills that I have, and they can judge that. They can judge my skills and my voice acting and not my disability.
Man.
So, yeah, so I was wondering, and I was meaning to ask you, do you think I should be using my disability in a way to get ahead in the competition, or is that a scummy thing to do?
Man, I think it's beautiful that you describe voice acting that way. I think voice acting is such a beautiful medium for you to be able to feel that way.
It makes me feel free, and it may not sound super cool for all of you not disabled guys, but I know all of my disabled guys are gonna get this. It makes me feel normal,
Yeah. Yeah, I get what you mean, because it's like, when you're using your voice. For me personally, when I'm in the booth, it's like completely dark.
That's
Like
good.
it's
That's
very
cool.
dark, and it's I'm allowed to use my imagination. I can think about like, so I can imagine like when you're doing the voice, when you're doing that character, it feels like you're just you don't think about that stuff. You don't think about, your disability. You don't think about all
Yeah.
that stuff. You're just
Oh
doing.
shit! I can't stand up. I can't stand up. Fuck that shit. I'm doing fucking bad guys. I'm doing all of that kind
Yeah.
of shit. I'm doing people who can actually stand up and walk. That
Yeah,
sounds
man.
funny, but but that is very fucking freeing.
Yeah. I bet it is,
Uh,
man.
yeah.
That's
And
amazing.
that was also, I was gonna ask you because I saw a lot of this popping up in the recent months and years. Disabled
Yeah,
voice
yeah.
actors only.
I was gonna get it. Oh yeah, I was gonna get into that. Yeah.
Yeah. So should I take advantage of my disability to get ahead in the competition, or is that a shady thing to do,
I mean,
or is it okay? I don't know. Like,
I don't think it's shady. Like, I mean, if a casting director is asking for disabled voice actors only, then like, dude, that just means like, like it doesn't mean you're getting like what? So if a casting director said Arabic voice actors only, like, am I cheating by being an Arab?
I
Like,
mean, I mean, no, yeah,
yeah.
yeah, that's a good point.
So like,
Mm,
don't think about it like that, bro. Like, just think about it as just being a part of yourself, and that's something that people would appreciate. And you're putting forward your experience in that. So that's why casting directors look for disabled voice actors. It's not really just like, oh, I just want to, get the quota. I want to reach that quota. No,
yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah,
don't think it's that way. I don't think a lot of their intentions, I think they are very good. Like, I think you should think about it in a way that it's like, I'm presenting something that other people can't. A normal voice actor that isn't disabled, isn't just a regular dude, isn't going to be able to portray what you can portray. I think something
yeah.
is beautiful in that. You should appreciate that, man. Like,
That's a good point. That's a
yeah.
very great point.
So
I
don't
guess,
think about it
yeah,
negatively. Yeah.
I guess you are right about the intentions. If the intention is to just make you have a voice and not just fill a quota,
Yeah.
that's great.
Yeah. I mean, you're basically, I think, yeah, if I were doing a character that was disabled or like anything, I don't think it's just disabilities. Genuinely, it's not just disabilities. So don't think about it like a handicap, or don't think about it like
Yeah,
it's something bad for you, or it's something like that you should feel guilty for. Man, you are presenting yourself. You are presenting a performance no one else can do. Like, you have to
that's
understand
actually
that.
true. Yeah,
So you don't have to assume the intentions. Don't assume that they are just filling a status quo, whatever. Just believe in yourself. Believe that your performance is important, and you have to believe that this
yeah.
that what you have to present it authentically. Don't think about all that stuff. It's it's you and this performance. You know what I mean? So yeah,
And I guess it comes down to what's been going on because in my school and shit, they always used to want to fill a quota and stuff. So it
hmm
kind of molded me into being cynical and shit. But I
yeah,
guess I gotta move past that. So I was wondering, in your experience, have you noticed that being an a uh, Arab voice actor,
yeah.
right? Was it easier for you, or is it harder for you to get roles because you're from a country like you are?
Okay, so I think for me, I'm very lucky well, I'm not. It's not luck. It's more like I have an advantage over other voice actors that are, you know, international and stuff like that, because I sound completely
Oh,
American. I sound
yeah,
American.
you,
I can
you do
sound
have that
white.
good accent. Yeah,
Yeah,
you sound American as hell.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, man. I can sound like I can sound like a white dude. I can just sound like I've been in America for my whole life. And at the same
you
time,
can
like,
sound
yeah,
like a white dude. You can sound like a black dude. I mean, you have you have that, and it comes to you without stop. That's what amazes me. It never dips. Like,
yeah, yeah. I mean, like, that's the thing that really that is allowing me all these opportunities, and is allowing me to really like be able to get those opportunities, because if I was just if I had a different accent, or had a like a if my voice just isn't like, oh, this guy. If you heard me, you would be like, oh, this guy's an Arab. This guy's this. It's like my voice it can
Yeah.
be molded into different things. My accent, my enunciation can be molded into so many different things. And so I never felt like, oh, I'm at a disadvantage because I sound Arab and this guy sounds white, or this guy sounds, like a deeper voice, or sounds like an older guy. Like, I can mold my voice in certain ways where I don't feel like I'm at a disadvantage, you know? Like,
And it's
yeah.
great because in this day and age, you can do things not in the country, I guess, not in a certain country, because back in the day, you had to go to the US, the UK, Germany, and shit like that
Yeah.
in the studio. I guess today you have to do it now in a certain extent, but you can do remotely. You could do a lot of gigs, and it doesn't matter if you're from the armpit of Eastern Europe or fucking Iraq or some shit.
Yeah. I think that's the thing, the wonders of modern technology. Oh my goodness. It has
The
afforded
internet,
us.
Yes, yes.
It has
Not
afforded us.
only Twitter, afforded us not only Twitter degeneracy, but also the greatness of voice acting and connection. And I want to add another thing.
Yes.
To me, doing a goofy accent kind of frees me, and it stops me
Yeah.
stuttering. Does it happen to you? Do you have to slip into a character to not be anxious, or no?
Oh yeah, I mean, dude, when I do a British accent, I feel like I can talk about anything. I can waffle for like 50 days straight.
Waffling, yes.
Yeah, I
yes.
can waffle. Yes, the wonders of modern technology have really taken us to, a place where we can be voice actors and not particularly go into a different country or a different studio, or sometimes not even a different city or a different town. We can just sit at home. Not sit at home. I mean, we're working, it's not really...
Rot at home, rot/work. Oh,
Rot.
yes.
Rot on the chair, just sit there all day, getting, eating and staring at the screen, of course, the usual.
Molded to the chair doing art.
I was molded by the dark.
I was molded by CCC.
I was molded, yes. Yes,
by
we
CC
were.
Projects.
We
And
were
good projects,
molded
too.
by Buford.
Oh yes, Mr. Buford, please don't sue us because
Yes. We love you. We appreciate your website. It was wonderful. It's wonderful.
He has
And
good things and he has bad things too.
Yep.
Yeah.
voice,
I was
Twitter
wondering
too,
yeah.
Yeah.
Could you talk about which channel for you is the best? Is it CCC? Is it Twitter/Discord? Is it like personal invites from big shots? Or is it just going out and sending emails?
Well, I mean, to tell you the truth, it's it's actually, I would say email, like shit that I get in my email, 100%. The stuff from rosters, people that I've worked with before, stuff like that. That's the stuff that is like that I'm most likely to book, like just an audition sent to me from from a roster that I signed up to. Or someone I've worked with before, or like just someone who found me, like for example on LinkedIn, or that got referred or heard my voice somewhere. They email me, and that's really the biggest opportunity, and those are the biggest auditions, and especially auditions from rosters, because the talent pool is small and they send it to people who they think would fit. And
Is
so
it hard to get on rosters? Is it
hard to get on rosters?
To be honest with you, it's a process, but you have to present yourself well. You have to present yourself. You have to have a demo. You have to
That's
have
where the confidence comes in again. The
yeah,
Hussein confidence.
and also
Yeah.
you have just to have. It's not just confidence. It's a good body of work. It's a good
Yeah,
resume.
true.
It's good presentation. That's really the most important thing. You have to. I have a link tree with all my demos. I have a YouTube playlist with all my projects that I can put on YouTube. I have yeah.
It's funny you say that because I used to have the fucking playlist too, but then I thought like no one cares about this shit. Like, and I deleted it, man.
Why?
Because my YouTube page is like I gotta fix that. It has a profile picture of a hobo guy,
Bro,
and
that's epic, bro. What are you talking about?
and people come here and you are a voice actor, right? Yes. Why is this hobo guy here? Like, I guess I get what you're trying to say. You gotta
Yeah,
you gotta fix it, I
it's
guess. But
just
yeah,
yeah. I think the presentation is the most important part. Is having well-produced demos, at least demos that showcase your abilities in an adequate manner. You know what I mean? Just
yes.
demos, yes. And just a resume, a website, or at least like a link tree type thing. You just gotta have that stuff on the ready, on the go, like you said, with a Google Drive. You have a Google Drive, but Google Drive,
Yeah.
bro, please put that in a
I
video
know.
or a demo. Please. I
I'm
beg
doing
you.
it, okay? I'm doing it. There's the video coming up because, and yes, we could, yeah, we can get back to why it's taking so long because it's hard for me to pick the best fucking 5-10 seconds of a particular scene that I did and put
Mm,
it in a demo. How do you do that? Because for anyone who doesn't know, a visual demo needs to have at least like 10 seconds of a clip
yeah.
from your project, and it needs to be quick and snappy.
Well, for me, I mean, I had, for example, when I was picking out my scene from The Journey, the film, the anime,
Yeah, yeah.
I had quite a few scenes. I just picked the scene where I talk the most, and I
Oh,
picked,
that's a good strategy. Yeah, I
yeah,
guess. Yeah, yeah.
and I picked the scene with Chris Judge, Kratos.
Ooh,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
that's the one I picked, and I
The
even
guy, the goat. Yeah.
the man himself. I picked it, and I even had his voice at the end going, "Oh, really?" So I'd be like, "Yo, look, yeah, look, it's Chris
Oh,
Judge."
really?
Yeah. So I had him at the end. And I also picked another scene from the near the end of the movie where my character Abdul Muttalib was crying. So
So key emotions, like big
yeah,
emotions, right?
it's
Mm.
speaking, it's acting in a normal scene, and it's also like an emotion. Yes, I was like, oh yes, it's kind finally, it's the God has
To
saved us.
show,
Yes,
to show variety, right? To show variety.
exactly. And my other character in the anime, like, I mean, I think it's easy for me to pick out lines. You know why? Because
Why?
I never play main characters. I just play characters who have like just a few lines. So I'm like, oh,
Come on, man. The guy in Black Desert Online is the main character. He's
I
like a
mean,
king or some shit.
he has
He's like a lord or a fucking, a king, a bad guy. He's like,
well,
yo,
I have
I'm the man, you know?
I have some quests. I think my character has like a few, like a quest or two, and then like two cutscenes. And I picked the cutscene with a huge monologue, but I don't know. Like, I think I did like I dubbed over another cutscene. Maybe I really don't
Mm.
remember, but I couldn't find it for some reason. Anyway, I was basically like,
So,
yeah.
how would you trim that monologue? Let's say you have to put it in a visual demo and it has to be only 15 seconds long. How would you trim that 2-minute monologue?
Okay, so I speak. So the monologue itself was 1 minute,
Oh, okay.
and yeah, and basically how I would do it is I'd look at the parts where I sound the least dumb. You know, I
What does that mean? Like, okay.
I don't know, like just like the parts where it's most consistent,
Oh,
where
okay,
the
okay.
lip flaps
I see.
match. Um,
The
and
best
yeah.
acting parts, yeah?
Yeah, and I would just I would probably cut it up in a way where it's like, oh, sometimes I might remove a certain part that I didn't like, or it was too slow, you know, just the stuff that is fast
Mm,
paced, something that gives a good pacing to the reel. You understand?
mm,
That's the biggest part of it because you have to pace your reels well. That pacing is like a movie. It's like a little section of a movie that you have to pace very well for like an attention span of a
mm.
director or someone looking at your
Quick,
work. Yeah.
quick, like boom, 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 not taking too long. I see, I see.
Type shit. Yeah, that's the
Yeah,
type shit you
that's a
got to do.
fucking interesting. That's
Yeah,
very fucking useful. I
man.
guess it
Yeah.
it comes back to your point you mentioned in the podcast. You got to have balance between overthinking something and being confident enough to just go with the action you want to go with.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed, man. Bro, and please, like, once you start working on it, if you want feedback on the video you making or whatever, you let me know because I would like to help you with that.
I
So
would love to have your
yeah,
feedback because you have experience and you have you're like the big guy, and I'm like trying to be like, hey sir, could you help me please? All right, son. Sit down, son. This
Sit
is how it's
down.
done, you know?
I gotta tell you about back in my day, we had a thing called visual reels, and that shit's crazy, you know.
Yeah. It's been 3 years and you're still using a Google Drive, man. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, man. Man, this was an amazing episode. I would like to speak to you even more. I really want to speak to you even more, but
I was
uh,
gonna wrap it up
yeah.
after this because we touched upon all of the topics, I think,
Yeah.
essentially.
But man, I mean, I really appreciate you, like, for taking the time. Honestly, and now I realize when you told me that your degree is in journalism, now I realize, oh shit. So that's why you were able to ask me these questions and you
It
formulated
just
those.
comes out. It just comes out, you know.
Yeah.
Just like your intuition in the booth, it just comes from somewhere.
Yeah.
I guess I always wanted to ask you these questions about acting specifically, and I'm glad you went into that in detail.
Bro, honestly,
Yeah.
I think if you have even more questions or you want to go into more stuff, dude, we can do a part 2 to this episode. You know what I mean? We're gonna do another one if you want.
And
So
I like the fact that you embraced the goofy voices and shit like that because it just makes it flow so well for me. And
of course, man.
yeah, yeah. Thank you
Man,
so much.
that was so fun. Of course, man. That was so, like, really fun. That was really awesome. And I really appreciate you. You took some time to actually write questions that you wanted to ask me, and you took some time to formulate some stuff, and you actually helped me out to bring this episode to life. I really appreciate that. That's very nice of you to do. Um,
We could do a
yeah.
part 2 in you know
The near future.
In the future. Yeah,
Yeah.
if something comes up,
Hell yeah.
I really would like to. It's funny how how you talk, how you have a lot to say, and
Yeah.
I just don't want to interrupt because it's so interesting to listen to. You know,
I'm really glad
Yeah,
you feel that way, man.
it actually is because it's I kind of see like you and me. We started at somewhat same timeline, you
Yeah.
know, and it's fun to learn from you to see what you do because I kind of see a little bit of myself in you, but
Mm.
you do it better, you know.
Yeah, man. I mean, like, this is why I would. It's crazy. We're almost done with this episode, and I immediately want to do a part 2. What the fuck? What's going on? Like, it's crazy, because I really enjoyed this, and I think there's a lot of, like, value in this type of conversation, and I think, like, I think it's really cool that, the dynamic between us, because especially because you want to learn a lot about a lot of stuff, and
That you do, yeah.
yeah, that I do, and it's like, I'm just good at explaining that stuff. So I think that's like a really good thing. So that's we might. I'm feeling like definitely a part 2 is coming to this. So it's gonna be really awesome. And man, this one was amazing. The questions you asked me were amazing. The conversation that went really well. I really hope I didn't speak too much. And I didn't let you speak. I hope I let you speak as much as you wanted, because
It's all good, man. It's all
yeah.
good. Like I mentioned, I'm kind of when my anxiety locks me up, I would
Yeah.
rather sit here and listen, and then while listening, I calm down, and then
Mhm.
I try to speak a little bit, and then I listen. It's better this way, you know.
Yeah, I noticed that. That's why I always try to whenever you stop, I felt like, okay, this is when I should be speaking. So you would listen to something, and I knew you were gonna have a question. You're really good at that, about, like,
And
continuing.
sometimes, I'm sorry, but I sometimes interrupt because in my mind it happens so fast. Like, you gotta ask him this, you gotta ask him now, you know, like, and I don't even listen to the ending, and it's so fucking scummy. I've been doing this all my
No,
life. I really gotta change that.
no, man, it's okay, man. I think it was really
Just gotta
cool.
slow down, take a breath, let the guy finish,
Yeah,
and then ask. Yeah.
yeah, man. But thank you so much for coming on the podcast, bro. It was wonderful having you as a guest.
Thank you
Uh,
for having me. Thank you for being open in your answers and stuff, and thank you for just dealing with some of the bullshit that was going on, like you know, the stuttering and the mic issues and shit like that.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
bro, don't worry about it, man. It's, dude, I can overlook that any day. It's amazing to talk to you. And it's really interesting, especially because, as I said, we have not spoken this much before. So it's really, really very, very interesting to hear your perspective and how you feel. because it's like I'm getting to know you, man. It's like we're becoming friends. This is epic. This is
Oh.
very cool.
Nice. And I liked when we talked about Ollie,
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
definitely gonna fucking send him this because
Please.
I liked how you had a lot of good things to say and how it connected us. And I'm fucking serious. You have to have what I almost forget how to pronounce her name. You have to have Shara on the
What?
podcast too.
Oh, Charlene. Yes,
Yeah, yeah.
yes, 100%.
Because
Yeah.
she had so much influence in
Yeah.
you like finding the Journey audition, right?
Yeah,
She
she
had
was
so
the one that
much-
sent it to me.
Yeah, she has so much like such influence in your big steps
Yeah.
because she helped you out a lot, and I think she could share a lot because she has her own project right now, and she is directing people, and she talks a lot about
Ooh.
acting. So I guess she understands acting better than I do, And
Hell yeah.
I guess she could talk about it more. So she would be a great fucking guest, and she's always so fucking awesome and stuff.
Oh man. Okay. I'll definitely keep that in mind. So thank you for reminding me of that.
Yeah.
And yeah, man. Again, thank you for coming on the podcast, and I really appreciate everyone for listening to this episode. I really enjoyed recording it. I hope everyone enjoyed listening. I think there's a lot of insight and there's a lot of perspective to be had here. I think it was like a really productive conversation. And thank you everyone for listening to this episode. And let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I got like 2 comments. One of them from like some guy that is like really cool, and he's like, "I'm keeping up with your videos. You're so cool." And then like
He's the best. He's the best. Hey, I know
Yeah.
you, guy. I've seen you, guy.
Yeah,
Fucking awesome. Fucking
he's a really
awesome.
cool guy. Yeah, he's a really cool guy.
Keep on commenting, bro. And maybe
Yes.
you're gonna be on the podcast one day, man. Come on.
Yeah,
Let's
love
let's
you,
do it.
man. Yeah, man. And you guys tune into the next episode on the next Wednesday, as per usual. And hope
Happy
you guys-
holidays, guys.
Yeah.
Happy
Oh my God,
holidays.
yes. Holy shit! How did I forget?
Yeah.
Happy holidays, Merry Christmas. You guys may listen to this while it's Christmas because it's gonna be like in a week from now, or less than a week. It's gonna be in like 6 days. So
Yeah.
or actually 5 days when this episode drops. So you
Oh,
guys,
yeah.
yeah, I hope everyone has a Merry Christmas. Have everyone, has a wonderful 2024. It's not. I mean, my episode is dropping before 2020. The next episode. Oh no, it's my next episode is dropping in 2024. So like, oh shit,
Oh shit.
yeah, yo,
We're
happy,
starting the year strong, man.
yeah, Happy New Year to everybody. Happy holidays to everybody. Happy holidays to you, man. It's gonna be Christmas very soon.
Happy holidays to you. I don't know what you do if you celebrate or not, but whatever you do, happy holidays to you. And
Thanks,
to all the
man.
listening, I gotta say, keep on creating, keep on doing good shit. No
Hell
matter
yeah.
no matter how you might feel, keep on making stuff that you want to make, and it's all gonna be good, man.
Agreed, man. Agreed. Everyone push forwards, passion and love for the stuff that you do, and stay focused on the stuff that is important to you, because that shit you gotta, the stuff that gives you fulfillment, the stuff that gives you happiness, that's what you gotta focus on, that's what you gotta hone, that's what you gotta work on. So thank
Yeah,
you. Thank you
definitely.
for that perspective. Thank you for reminding me it's Christmas. I forget because we don't celebrate it much here. But yeah, man. Again, thanks everyone for listening. Tune in next Wednesday, and I hope you all have a wonderful day, wonderful holidays. Hope you all enjoyed. Bye.